Okay. All right, everybody. Hi. You're welcome into our pre-show here at Computer America. Ben and I have a terrific show planned for you. In the second hour, we'll be doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to be talking to Vuzix.
6 minutes until showtime.
And if you don't know what Vuzix is, basically they're the future in entertainment. According to them, they have these really cool eyewear video headphones. You know, I would say that if Oculus should be quivering in their boots because of some of the really cool products we're going to be talking about today. It's all coming up in the Computer America Show, so sit back, relax as we're going to begin 2 hours of the Computer America Show coming at you slowly. Oh, and now I realize what I did. I started Hangouts too soon. Great. Just lovely. Well, folks, just relax, and we'll be with you momentarily. Anyhow, yeah, we got 6 minutes to kill. I should have started with 2 minutes before.
5 minutes until showtime.
Hey, it is what it is. Mike, so our show will start in a few minutes, and then we will go live, and Ben and I will have some opening banter as we normally do, and then we will I'll introduce you. You won't have to do anything. You'll just go ahead and we'll start the show. I'll introduce you, and then you can come right on the program. I'll control your phone for you. And then at the bottom of the hour, we'll have a commercial break, and then we'll continue on with the show right after.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on mute and just stand by, okay? So, Ben, I started Hangouts way too soon, and I know if I stop the broadcast...
No, then the whole thing's buggered.
Yeah, then I'd have to start a new room, and there's
absolutely
no way to...
4 minutes until showtime.
So why don't we just talk for 4 minutes?
How was your day?
My day has been crazy.
That's good. Crazy's good.
But
yeah, I never really talked to you for longer than 2 minutes. So this is going to be a stretch. This is going to be rough.
I talked to you longer than 2 minutes.
I know, but we don't enjoy it. Let's see.
Speak for yourself.
So, yeah, you know, last Friday with Nate Evans, we got into the whole Brexit thing, and you know, obviously tempers have cooled off since Friday. But Craig,
yeah,
what do you make of the whole Brexit thing?
I never completely fully understood its impact and exactly, you know, what's going on. I mean, it turns out that like over 3 million people
until showtime.
3 million of the people who wanted to break away from the EU now all of a sudden say we made a wrong decision. You know, let's have another election so we can change our minds. There seems to be so much ambiguity.
It's crazy because like there was such a generational divide. Like a lot of the younger people who have historically low voting turnout want like it was like 80% of younger people wanted to stay, and like a strong majority of the older generations wanted to leave because they felt this was the right decision for their kids. So like there was that strong divide about who wants to stay, who wants to leave, and yeah, and now, you know, over the next couple of days, you're going to have the immediate buyer's remorse of, do we really want to do this? Mm-hmm. Greg, I don't know if you know of Barclays and RBS, and they're like banks.
2 minutes until showtime.
And
they stopped trading completely because they dropped, like their market share dropped by 8% overnight. You know, since the referendum ended, and today they stopped trading altogether. Like they shut down stock trading. So, you know, I think the biggest part of this whole referendum isn't so much going to be the cultural aspect of it. It's going to be the economic impact of, you know, can the UK, you know, kind of exist outside the EU. So, and, you know, again, this isn't really technology because, you know, we're going to save that for the main 2 hours. But, If you haven't read up on it, like Craig apparently hasn't, we recommend that you do.
Exactly.
I have heard, though, that if you were going to go take a trip to the UK, this is a great time because their currency, very, very weak. Exchange rates, very, very good. And, London hasn't changed a bit. Still its charming little self. So
until showtime.
So if you were going to visit, go do it.
There we go. All right. Well, we have less than a minute to get the show started. So, as I said, it's going to be an interesting.
Oh, now we don't have enough time. Well, okay. Whatever.
Eventually, there would never be enough time. Time. It's that linear progression of time that seems to confuse you. So.
What an awfully fluffy piece to say at the beginning of the show.
Well, we have 30 seconds, folks, and we get started.
You want to drop any other adages on us?
No.
You good? Okay, good.
I think I'm good. Exactly. We can talk about that new TV set that we got.
It's heavy. There you go. That's as far as a review can go.
It's a heavy set. Okay. It's supposed to be light and airy, these flat screens. So. Anyway, here we go.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your, I'm your co-host, Ben. I was supposed to say, and I'm your new co-host, Ben. Like, I didn't change. And I'm your co-host, Ben. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yes, and it's Monday, and hopefully all of you had a wonderful weekend and did something fun and exciting. We are here once again to bring to you 10 hours of wonderful news, information, stellar interviews. That's what we do here on Computer America. That is our
every day, 10 hours of hard hitting.
Not every day, every week.
Oh, that makes sense.
Every week.
Let's skip out after the first 2 hours every day. So.
Right. Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And welcome to the show when we are live. We have an interesting show planned for you, of course. In the second hour, we're going to do computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, I think Oculus and HTC Vive and others, maybe trembling on the boots because there's another player in town. And we're going to have Vuzix on the program here. We're going to have the Director of Consumer Sales in North America, Mike Hallett, is going to be joining us talking about their line of products that include video eyewear and smart glasses. This type.
I don't like the way you phrased that. I don't think it's I don't think it's an adversarial kind of thing. I like to think that, Vuzix and Oculus and, Vive, I hope that they all, really, really hope that the area of augmented and virtual reality takes off together. I don't think it's one to beat out the other. Of course, they want some more units, but I think everyone wants it to succeed, except Nathan Evans.
That's true. And we'll talk to them about that too on the program. By the way, if you have a comment or a suggestion, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Or you can go to any page at our website, ComputerAmerica.com. In the upper right-hand corner of any page, it says Submit a Question. Just click it. It's a link. It'll take you to a question submission page. You can type in anything you like. Hit the Submit button. Ben and I will see what you've typed immediately. You can also watch the Computer America Show. Now, as I mentioned before, we are a radio broadcast. However, it is the 21st century, and so we bring to you live video streaming of our radio broadcast. So you can not only listen to the show, you can also watch the show. Again, head over to any page at computeramerica.com. In the menu bar, it says Show Lounge. Click it. It'll take you to our live video streaming page. You'll be joined to the show already in progress if you're doing it Monday through Friday between 3 and 5 p.m. Eastern. And you can see Ben. You won't be able to see our guest today because he's on the phone. However, Ben has the technology to display websites, videos, links, movies, that type of thing. So you can actually see what we're talking about as well as listen to him. It just makes for
And today it's going to make an extra impact because we're going to be able to see all of the models that we're talking about, all the different products, and maybe even some demonstration videos. So, be sure to tune into that.
I would agree completely. I think that watching our live video stream is going to make a great deal of additional information for you. So that's all in place. Anything else you want to mention about Computer America or our program before we get started, Ben?
Anything else? Folks, please check out, as Craig said before, our computeramerica.com is kind of all the show notes and all the links that you need, as well as any other things that we do here at Computer America, including, yes, the video, including articles that we write, reviews that we do. As Craig mentioned, if you were listening to the pre-video show thing we do, we have a new 65-inch ultra high definition OLED television that just arrived today. So we're going to hook that up soon enough and start trying that thing out. So I believe that's from a company called, I want to say Spectre, but it may not be Spectrum or Spectre, something like that. But yeah, be expecting that soon. And anything else? No, I think I'm really excited because, as we have explored before here on the show, we have talked about virtual reality and augmented reality. So it's nice to have a company on with the hardware behind it, and not just like game developers we've had on the past, and software engineers that we've had on the past, but actual the physical hardware. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, good. Well, as I mentioned, the name of the company is called Vuzix, and according to their website, they are an award-winning leading developer and supplier of smart glasses and video eyewear products in the consumer, enterprise, and industrial markets. Vuzix products include personal display devices that offer users a high-quality portable viewing experience. These mobile devices provide solutions for wearable displays, as well as virtual and augmented reality. Now, here with us is Mike Hallett. Mike is the Director of Consumer Sales in North America. Mike, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So I have to say, before I had not really heard of Vuzix, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything in the sense that there's so many companies out there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the company and what Vuzix is all about for our listeners?
Sure. We've actually been around since 1997. That's when we were founded. And we initially got into the defense space, selling gun sights to the U.S. military. And in that whole process, we talked to the military, and one of the things that they really wanted is when their guys would go out in the field and they would use these laptops, they would open the display and it would light them up like a Christmas tree. And you can imagine if you're out on a battlefield and you've illuminated yourself at night, that's not a good thing for you. So one of the things that the military wanted is they called it the Oakley Gate, because all these guys wear Oakley sunglasses, and they said if there was only a way that we could have a pair of glasses with the same type of information that we utilize on a laptop screen, every guy in the military would buy it, and for that fact, probably everyone in the world would buy it as well. So that was kind of our goal from the beginning, is to be able to supply that type of solution. Along the way, we've made all kinds of different products. We've been in the consumer space, we're in the enterprise space, and also in the defense space, which we actually sold off back in 2012. But that's kind of a little bit of the background of where we've been, kind of just a little teaser on where we're headed and some of the products that we're looking at coming out with, and some of the products that we have out today.
Well, Mike, real quick, we've been following all types of augmented reality, virtual reality, for quite a number of years now. Although I have to admit, I think the first real big splash that augmented reality made, not in cars or things like that, but there was a thing called Google Glass that I think really captured the imaginations of the public. But when that technology came out, and a year after it came out, like when it first came out, everyone was like, "Wow, this is the way of the future." And then a year went by, people looked back and said, "Well, that technology just wasn't really mature enough yet to really try to introduce it to the marketplace." So Vuzix being around since, like you said, 1997, and obviously making this work well enough that you guys are here, almost 20 years later. Congratulations. How would you say the technology is maturing? Like, did you think it was mature enough for certain applications before, or do you think it's finally coming into its own now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And to give you a little bit of a background, a little bit more on Vuzix, we introduced our first consumer product back in 2005. It was a video eyewear product, and it was more for entertainment, people that travel on planes and trains. They could plug it into, back then, the first iPod or a portable DVD player and watch movies, and it sat in front of your eyes. But we really sold those products into like niche stores like the old Brookstones and Sharper Image type of products. And then to answer your question, in 2013, Vuzix actually entered the market with our first pair of smart glasses. Now, product wasn't as widely known as Google Glass, because obviously Google has millions of dollars and empty, unlimited marketing budgets to promote that thing. Mm-hmm. But what they did is they focused on the consumer with Google Glass. What Vuzix did is we focused on the enterprise space. So we went to businesses and said, this is a tool because it's got its own Android processor. It functions much like a smartphone. It's got its own display that floats in front of your eye, just like Google Glass. But it gives you a hands-free solution to do things. And it works great in warehousing applications. It works great for field service. You could imagine a guy that has to fix something on top of a telephone pole. He climbs up there and he sees something that he's never seen before. Now, in the past, they'd have to call somebody and they'd have to try to talk them how to fix that. There's a camera on the front. They could record everything, dial back into a home office. A senior technician could walk that guy through how to fix something. And that's really the solution and the market that we went after with our smart glasses. And it's really matured and really adopted really well, whereas Google Glass kind of went after the consumer space. And then they did some backstepping and said, the product's really not ready for the consumer market. And so that was one of the successes that we had going after the market with our smart glasses.
So for certain applications, it sounds like you guys really found your niche and in the enterprise space. So, all right, yeah, that makes sense because Google Glass, we some of our good friends definitely bought into it, spent $1,000, and admittedly, it's a cool little trophy to have, saying, "Oh, look, I had $1,000 back then." But yeah, not much real world application nowadays.
Yeah, and we don't really go after the consumer market with that product as well. Ours retails for $9.99, and it's a great device. But like you said, applications for the consumers, there aren't a whole heck of a lot. You can see your phone display, but one thing that also is you should note is, just like Google Glass, you have this thing hanging off the side of your face, and people really don't want to stick out when they're walking down the street, and people notice them, and you just kind of look sort of funny. You've got something different about you. So, form factor really plays into having a solution that'll take off into the consumer market.
All right.
Oh, Ben, you're not an AIM. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So let me ask you this. So
who is? Am I right, people? I'm kidding.
So do does Vuzix actually have a consumer product out yet at this time? I mean, I'm looking at some of these images here; they look absolutely beautiful. And where do you stand with this right now, as far as the consumer product is concerned?
Yeah, actually, we've just gotten back into the consumer market. We had exited for a couple of years, focusing on our smart glasses, but we just introduced a product called eyewear. It's eyewear video headphones, and it's a multi-dimensional product. So it sets itself apart from some of the competitors that you've seen out there. It's a pair of headphones that integrates a video display, and there's two displays in there that you take a television set at 125 inches and stand back 10 feet. That's about the screen size that you would see in the video headphones. It's got a 55-degree field of view. There's a microphone in there for gaming applications. And one of the really cool things about it is it's an HDMI-based product. So you can plug it into anything that outputs HDMI, whether it's a Blu-ray player, a PC, your smartphone, a tablet, console. It's a really broad product for being able to use it as a display for multiple sources.
That is, and this is certainly different. I mean, we're again, if you're watching the video portion of the show, we have the wearable display for mobile entertainment, the eyewear video headphones. You can see them here, and nice little 360 thing you got going on here. Very very stylish. Love the little green accent. Definitely aiming it towards the gamers, because that's what they seem to like. Is a lot of blacks, a lot of grays, and a lot of greens. But I guess where this kind of sets apart is that video headphones. We've never heard another company call their product video headphones. We've already heard virtual reality displays or virtual reality headsets. Video headphones. Why did you make the distinction instead of calling it the eyewear virtual reality headset or headphones?
Well, as you can see from the pictures there, it really integrates a pair of headphones, and everyone has headphones today, so you get a great looking video picture, but without great audio integrated, your experience just isn't the same. We have a really high-end pair of headphones on here, and the nice thing about our design solution is that also having a pair of headphones also supports the headset on the front of your face. Not only that, we actually have a headband that straps to, I don't want to say strap, but you rest it against the back of your head with a little adjustment knob. And what that does is it takes the weight from the front of the headset and it puts it on the back of your head. So really it's kind of floating in front of your face, so you don't really feel the weight. That and the headphones really make the solution comfortable for you. So we felt that calling them video headphones, it really kind of is self-explanatory when you say, you're integrating video in a pair of headphones, and you put them together, and you have eyewear.
Yeah, I've experienced quite a number of these headsets, and some of them, I would say some of them on the lower price spectrum, they do feel like they're hanging off the front of your face. And after half an hour of video games or half an hour of watching Netflix, it'll really tire your neck out. So I'm glad that you guys really thought of ergonomics along with this. And I guess one thing that we really need to define is the use cases for something like this, because virtual reality, augmented reality, some people see it as a gimmick, but really the application for something that just kind of isolates you and puts you in another environment, for people who enjoy home theaters or for people who enjoy these really in-depth experiences, what would you say are some of the best use cases for the eyewear video headphones?
You actually just hit on some of the great use cases for it. It's for people that, again, travel on planes and trains that want to kick back and watch a movie. We do have an integrated light shield with this, which makes it really cool, because you can block out all the surrounding light and get totally engrossed into whether it's a movie or a gaming experience, or you can take that off, because some people they do like to see above and below, so they are aware of their surroundings, so they know exactly where they are. People that don't want to wake their spouse or their significant other while they're laying in bed at night, that's a great application. If you just want to use this as a desktop replacement, you could certainly plug it into your computer and look at spreadsheets, and you could do that. It's great for gamers that want to be able to check out VR but don't want to totally upgrade their computer with a 2000 system and have an Oculus type solution that aren't hardcore gamer. You can certainly do that. You can watch movies. You can plug it into your smartphone and look at the screens that way. So there's many different types of applications. Since it is HDMI based, you can plug it into all those different sources and use it different ways. It's another cool thing about it is it's a portable product. We have a rechargeable battery in there. So if you want to game in the morning at home, you can do that. And then if you have a flight in the afternoon, you can take your eyewear with you and you can watch a full-length movie cross country on a plane. So we give you all those different things that you can utilize with the product.
That's because you're utilizing the HDMI port, which really is an industry standard, long, well-established industry standard for video, audio, everything coming through one cable, one thin little cable, as a matter of fact, because it has such excellent bandwidth. So anything with an HDMI out, you can use these headsets with those devices. I mean, I could technically, I guess,
Absolutely.
if I have a satellite box, if like a direct TV or something, they all have HDMI. I can plug it right into it and just watch directly on there. I don't have to plug it into a TV set.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, and one of the use cases that you've described for this was, of course, gaming. Gaming, I guess, is kind of my territory here on the show. So we've mentioned, in passing some of the, I guess, would-be competitors for the eyewear video headphones, and each one of them has their own kind of, they each have their own environment. So Facebook, of course, has the Oculus Rift, and they are spending, Facebook amounts of money on buying video games and getting people to develop video games for this kind of thing. There is, of course, HTC Vive, and they are working closely with Steam. We have the PlayStation 1, which is obviously working with PlayStation. Would the eyewear video headphones have its own ecosystem for video games, or is this going to be compatible with, let's say, video games that are compatible on Steam? Like, which games is this thing going to be useful for? Because, like, I don't know if it has accelerometers. That's the word. I don't know if it has accelerometers so that you can kind of just look around, but what games are going to be compatible with the eyewear video headphones?
So the cool thing about it is we're part of OSVR, so people will be able to use technically the same games that they're writing for Rift, and we'll be able to utilize that. We do have a 3-axis gyro. We have an accelerometer. We have a mag sensor. So we'll be able to utilize the VR capabilities of our product with all the VR titles out there, because they will transfer over to us. Developers don't necessarily need to write specific games for eyewear. We can kind of piggyback on what's being written out there for the other guys.
Perfect. Yeah. And for longtime listeners of the show, I think it's been about probably a little bit over a year. We actually had OSVR on the show with us, when they were first debuting and trying to make themselves the standard for virtual reality gaming. So it's good to hear that OSVR is still kicking in the marketplace. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and we don't want to. I've tried Oculus, I've tried HTC, and those are great products. One thing that we want to certainly make your listeners understand, and one thing that Vuzix is, we're not going head to head with those particular products. We do present a VR experience, and it's a great experience, but we also present other experiences, whether you want to take it on a plane and have the portability of a video headset. We don't want to go head to head against those products, because that's not the sole purpose of eyewear. If you want to be able to just, game in VR in full 3D, we give you that capability. One of the things that people have given us feedback on of Rift is the nauseousness and the feeling that they're not in their environment. That's one thing that you don't get with eyewear, because it's got a 55-degree field of view, and that's very natural for your eyes to be able to take into the whole picture. Even though you can look around in your environment, it's not out of your peripheral, so you can feel comfortable knowing that you're sort of still in the universe where you are, as opposed to really getting lost. So that's kind of a cool thing that we've made real cognizant with the product. But we want to make sure that people know that we are not going head to head with those particular products.
Mike, you mentioned that, and that's an important factor, because a lot of people who do use virtual reality headsets can get motion sickness, and they get ill, and they can't, they literally can't take it. And you say you've overcome that simply by the fact that you don't, you're not offering what Oculus does, which is like 360-degree all around. You're limiting to a
no. I believe Oculus, and of course, Mike, feel free to correct me, but I think Oculus has like 110-degree field of view. Like it actually like includes your peripheral vision as well.
And what is it you're doing exactly?
Yeah, our field of view is 55 degrees, and as Ben said, theirs is 110, a little over 100. And what that does is it really goes beyond your peripheral. So you are in that environment. You're not in your current environment anymore, and they totally block you off. Whereas with eyewear, you can actually, if you don't have the light shield on, you can see above and below. So you can still see your legs if you're sitting down in your office.
So
what that does is it gives your brain, it tells your brain, hey, I'm still here. I'm not actually in that computer-generated environment. And a lot of people just can't handle that. Well, it's a very disorienting thing.
So you're saying by seeing your legs or a little bit of that, it kind of gives you an anchor to hold on?
Well, no, it's not that you see your legs. It's that, just like when you're sitting there watching television, you see it in, a television is in that square of a television. Just, of course, just going over the overview of the eyewear video headphones, it looks like it's isolating. So like, you won't have the ambient light or anything kind of coming in, but at the same time, it's still very defined, squares that your eyes are looking at.
So you don't have that, you don't have you don't get that queasiness. In other words, with the you're not offering this total immersion experience that you're going to get with an Oculus Rift. That's not your intention. Your intention is to sort of like go part of the way. And so why did you make that decision to do that exactly?
Well, it was the fact that we wanted a portable solution. We wanted people to be able to utilize this in different ways and not just be chained to your PC at home. We wanted to give our users the ability to use a product that is a VR product, but it's also portable, and you can use it in multiple ways.
Okay.
I have used portable monitors from other companies, and 9 times out of 10, they are just monitors that are very, very, just have power and an HDMI, and they hook up to something else. But they're full-blown monitors. It seems like instead of of course you had, it seems like you already had half the battle there beaten when you created this thing for virtual reality. So you're like, sure, you can use it for virtual reality. But it seems like the main thrust of this was, instead of lugging one of these portable monitors around, have some built into headphones, and you can watch, you can watch anything on your headphones that you would on a portable monitor. It not so much a gaming device, but more, just easy to take with you monitor.
Yeah, you got it. That's exactly it. And in the beginning of the segment, you actually hit upon a great point that, everyone's got their little niche in this particular space. And like I said, Oculus and HTC, they have great products. And we've got a product too, and we've got our market, and we've got a lot of different areas that we can go towards. And we want, obviously, everyone to succeed. We want VR to succeed. We want AR to succeed. We want this whole particular category, if you will, to succeed. And Vuzix loves the fact that there is a big player like Oculus out there that, you know, brings a lot of marketing dollars and a lot of publicity to the space. We celebrate that. We love it that their VR has become what it's become today, and you know, we're a part of that. So we celebrate all these other companies that want to present a solution, and you know, there's a piece for everybody. And just like Vuzix, we have our markets, and we believe that we will be successful going after those particular markets.
Well, let me ask you this: how do you position yourself if you're not competing with companies like Oculus or HTC Vive? How are you positioning yourself to consumers? How are you presenting this product?
Well, it's not that we don't compete with Oculus. We just, for somebody that wants a complete gaming product, they're only going to use it with a high-end PC, and they're only going to game with it. Yeah, those solutions are great. But there's so many people out there that want to be able to do that, but they also want to be able to do other things.
Sure.
You can just plug it into your smartphone, and like I said, you can watch a movie.
Yeah.
You can plug it into your computer. You can view spreadsheets.
Right.
So
Mike?
yeah,
All right.
it's the multi-use of the product.
All right, this is the Computer America Show. We're going to continue on. Right after this, we've got a brand new News Tips Bulletin Review coming up as well. Please stay with us.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Yeah, my Raspberry Pi programs keep giving me the raspberries. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Kidda FireX talking smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. Any smoke alarm can beep when there's a fire, but the Kidda FireX combo ionization smoke and electrochemical carbon monoxide alarm can talk. Not much, not often, but the message is fire or warning carbon monoxide, or one of a few maintenance messages. It also sounds an 85 decibel alarm. This is AC powered with AA cell backup and interconnectable, so all of them in a house can alert when any one of up to 18 of them triggers. Bottom line, equipping your home with Kidda FireX Smart Combo smoke and carbon monoxide alarms that talk and interconnect is like keeping a fire lookout team on guard and connected all through the house. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
And welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour as we are doing the entire hour here with Mr. Mike Hallett, and he is the director of sales for Vuzix. For Vuzix. And yeah, we are talking right now about their latest consumer product, which is, of course, the eyewear video headphones. And we're finally getting, I think, a very clear picture that these are, the distinction I was talking about earlier about why call these video headphones instead of a VR headset is, I think what we're just now understanding is that these are, if we're talking about monitors, this is probably the most portable and convenient monitor that you can have if you are traveling, if you're trying to kind of isolate yourself in a place that you don't have a 125-inch monitor, but you want one, or at least the appearance of one. This seems like a good solution for places that monitors would be very inconvenient to take with you or to put somewhere. So, and that is where the eyewear video headphones come into play.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and another thing, yeah, oh, definitely. And another thing of when you say gaming, there's there's not just PC gaming, as you guys are well aware. There's a ton of people out there that love console gaming, including myself. And being able to plug in a pair of eyewear video headphones into your PS4 and play a game in full 3D, it's a great experience, and that's something that you can't do with those other guys. That's one of the main ways how we demo our product when we go to trade shows and we present it to people is, let's just plug it into PS4 and throw in a 3D game or a 3D movie, and they're blown away by the image and the clarity of the screens. So that's another use case, and that's another way that we kind of separate ourselves from some of those other products out there.
And and of course, one of the other ways is that if you've seen the HTC Vive, if you've seen the PlayStation 1, if you've seen the Oculus Rift, if you've seen any of these, you'll know that you have this, for any of you folks who watch Avatar, like the tails that they have, that they, kind of hook up with all the other creatures on, whatever planet Avatar took place on. With these virtual reality headsets, you have this giant cord that runs from a $1,500 to $2,000 gaming computer. You said that this headset is battery powered, and you can take it with you on the go. So let's talk a little bit about the battery life, and and what applications that lets you do.
Yeah, so it's got a integrated lithium-ion rechargeable battery. It gives you about 4 to 6 hours of usage, and you charge it up before you go, and you can use it and watch a movie, full-length movie, or if you're if you're at home, you can just plug it into portable power, and you can use it all day.
Oh, and one thing that I guess I'm kind of having a dumb time about. You said that it was HDMI. So does that mean like you need a laptop to bring with you, or how are you supposed to get movies or anything or is there onboard memory storage?
There is no onboard memory storage for eyewear. It's a quote-unquote dumb device, so it doesn't have like an Android processor or memory built in, but it's got a full HDMI, so you plug it in. So if you just need a connector for micro HDMI, you just throw that on there. You plug it into your smartphone. We have connectors where you can plug it into an iPhone, or you just plug it into your laptop in the HDMI port, and you're good to go. It's got an integrated USB port, and that's where you utilize the tracking capabilities on a PC, and that's all that there is with the cable.
Now, we're talking primarily about the eyewear video headphones, and we've been talking about it for some time. But you also have these M100, the smart glasses?
M100, M300.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what those are and what they're aiming to do, what you're trying to do with these products.
Yeah, sure. So the M100, as I mentioned earlier, it really is a business tool. We've gone after the enterprise market, And what we're doing with this is we're selling it as a business tool for companies that want to have a hands-free experience and be able to increase efficiency for the company to create a real return on investment. So if you could imagine a company that has a warehouse, which there's millions of them all over the place, and they're using the traditional barcode scanners that are handheld. If you put on a pair of smart glasses with the camera on the front, you could actually be able to look into the display. It could tell you where the package is that you need to go pick. It could tell you how to get there. When you do find the package, you look at it. You would scan the barcode with the camera on the front. It would confirm that you have picked the correct package and then immediately delete it from inventory. So you can do all that hands-free. And what that does for companies is it's greater efficiency, and it allows them to do things much faster than what they've done in the past.
Mm.
And of course, we here at Computer America are primarily, consumer oriented, but we have done news stories and done technology that I believe we've even had a couple on the show. That this space of warehouse management and the corporate side of things, we may have done this on the show or may have been reading it in my spare time. That these little tags that will and these systems that will, like, you put in, let's say you have 10,000 bags of coffee beans and you put each of these little markers in an individual bag, and it will be able to pinpoint exactly where bag number 6,383 is, and it will be able to tell moisture, temperature, blah 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 blah. And technology like that mixed with technology like smart glasses, how do you see the future of warehouse management and all this kind of, like, do you see just a couple of people running an entire warehouse because they have the technology to pretty much tell them exactly where everything is? You don't need all that, all those human resources.
That it's entirely possible. That type of solution can be done. A lot of it's obviously running in the background, and a lot of it's software driven. We are a hardware company, and we rely upon our developer community for our smart glasses to write those solutions and be able to support companies in the way that they want to use it. But yeah, absolutely. There's just a ton of different applications out there how you can use smart glasses. And what I really would like to touch upon is where Vuzix is headed with our technology. Now we're in the consumer space, we're in the enterprise space, we have eyewear, we have the M100, which is transitioning over to the M300, but where Vuzix is really headed is a product that really fits nicely into the AR market. And what we have is patented waveguide technology, and what this is it's going to be integrated into a pair of sunglasses. And what you do with this, instead of traditional optics that sit in front of your eye and block your field of view when you look straight ahead, we have moved the display engines to the side temples, and we are projecting an image in front of your eye. This is really the future of where Vuzix is headed. And not only would we be integrating VR, but AR becomes a distinct possibility in things that people will use in their everyday lives. It's something that consumers will use, enterprise will use, military will use. It will be used everywhere. Theoretically, everyone that uses a smartphone today could do everything that they do with their smartphone in a pair of glasses, all hands-free. And that's the direction that Vuzix is headed, and that's where we believe the real home run is in this whole entire space. And we really believe augmented reality is going to take over when that type of solution can hit the market.
I think anyone out there who has played video games in the past 20 or so years knows that a heads-up display showing relevant information for whatever you're doing in that particular time. Of course, video games is one application, but I could definitely use a real-life heads-up display. Let's say you're cooking in the kitchen. Let's say you're driving somewhere, and Craig, I know you do this with the GPS unit in your smartphone, giving you directions. Heads-up displays. If Vuzix does that, please come back on the show, because that, I think you're right, is the home run.
Well, now,
yeah, there's. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm what I'm trying to focus on. There are other products that I think may fall into the same category as the eyewear. One of them is called the Evenkin Glyph. I think it's called the Glyph. Would you say that the eyewear is targeting more the Glyph market? Are you more similar there as opposed to the Oculus and the HTC Vive and others?
Yeah, Abagon is
Abagon.
they make a product that is quite similar to eyewear. They have HDMI. One of the main differences that kind of sets eyewear apart is we do have a larger field of view, so your viewing image is much larger, and our device fits differently on your head. We do take all of the weight from the front and support it on the back of your head, whereas there's kind of floats in front of your face, and it doesn't give the greatest of experiences. But as far as competitors, yes, that would be the closest competitor that Vuzix has. That's an HDMI based product.
Yeah, the Glyph looks sort of like someone took a black band and just put it over the top of your head, and it's kind of sitting there. I mean, there's really no moldings, or it doesn't seem to be It looks a little uncomfortable. You're looking at it, and it just doesn't look as
well. So far, every picture and video that that we're seeing right now, you took a little time to talk about the headband that you have available for the eyewear that lets it kind of support itself on your head rather than being hanging in front of your head. And I think that's what Craig's trying to get at, is that it looks a little uncomfortable because so far we haven't seen it with the extra strap.
Yeah, and you used the word uncomfortable. I didn't. We'll put that out there. But, yeah, ergonomics in having something that's comfortable for you is really, really important with this type of product, because it's one thing if you're at a trade show and you put it on for 20 to 30 seconds and you're like, wow, that's a great experience. It's something completely different to watch a 2-hour movie. If you can't wear this thing for more than 5 minutes, what's the point of the product? So having the ergonomics and the weight of the product not supported on the front of your face was one of the major things that when we set out to make the product was right at the top of the list. You could have the most beautiful display, you could have the greatest sound, but if you can't wear the thing, again, what's the point of the product? So that was forefront on our minds, and something that we wanted to give our users is that real comfort experience to be able to enjoy the great display that we provide and the great audio.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done too. I mean, finding a proper balance. I mean, the neck muscles are set up such, that you don't normally feel the weight of your head, but when you start putting things that are weighted on your head, you can start getting the sore neck, or because it's not natural, and trying to find something that fits within that field of being natural and being comfortable to wear, I would think it would present almost as much of a challenge as the actual technology, the video technology that you're using.
Yeah, that's just it. If, like I said, if you can't wear this thing for more than 5 or 10 minutes, and it gives you any sort of pain on the front of your face, it'll start to give you a headache, and you won't want to use it. It won't give you that kind of experience that you're looking for, because you're more concerned with I'm feeling pain, or that I can notice this thing, as opposed to getting lost into the experience that you want to experience.
Okay, well, look, Mike, you're the director of consumer sales in North America for this product. If you had to do some market projections for the eyewear, who would you say the eyewear is specifically for, and where do you see your company going with this product?
Sure, we've positioned the product where we're going to be going after mobile travelers, people that want access to entertainment, whether it's people on the planes or the trains watching movies. We are going to be hitting markets where people want to use it as a big screen monitor for console gaming. One of the big markets that we're going after right now and sponsoring some racers is the drone market, which is, a lot of people might think that's kind of an afterthought, but all these guys that are racing drones, which is becoming really a real big sport right now, they all have headsets, because as they're flying these things 60 to 80 miles per hour around a course, they need a headset to see where they're going. And with a digital receiver, we have no latency, which means there's no lag on there, and it's a beautiful HD display that these guys can use. So it's a really big market that we're going to be going after, and the guys that have tried it so far and some of the racers that we're going to be sponsoring just love the product, and it fits real nice in there.
I
Really?
definitely like the fact that you guys, and I don't feel the need to call this out every time, but some people, they come out here with these displays and on some products, and they're like, yeah, we have beautiful HD display, 720p, folks, you're gonna love it. It's like 720. Don't get me wrong, technically HD, you did good, but I believe the eyewear is 1080p, correct?
It can take inputs of 1080p. Yep.
Perfect.
So what's next? 4K?
We would love to be able to say, that's on the roadmap. It's all a function of the display size. As you want larger, higher resolution displays get a little bit larger, and they cost more. So, but yeah, that's definitely on the roadmap. And but like I touched on before, where Vuzix is really headed is to the AR space with a pair of sunglasses, which the very first thing I mentioned on the segment was the military said if you could cross the chasm to the Oakley Gate with a pair of glasses that you could present information on, everyone would buy one. And that's where Vuzix is headed. That's the technology that we have right now, patented technology. And it's going to be a really exciting future for us when our waveguide sunglasses come out.
Yeah, that seems to be the crux of it. That augmented reality, which is like the ultimate in heads-up displays, that you're actually seeing the real world, and then superimposed over the real world are these images, would be text or graphics or what have you, that enhance or augment the reality that you're taking a look at. And to get them down to a pair of sunglasses or glasses that are perceived to look like normal glasses, I guess is the ultimate.
Or chairs with tablets floating in front of them that float. Okay, apparently no one's a Wally fan. Okay, I get it.
Again, this is the movies kind of predicting this type of thing, but I was hooked. I watched one of the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise, and when he pulled out a pair of ordinary-looking glasses, and when he was talking to people, they just looked normal, but the glasses themselves had all this information to him that was, was displaying all this additional information about the room he was in, the people around him, that type of thing. Yes, it's Hollywood, but I think it sort of captured the idea about that. That's the direction that these types of devices are heading toward.
Yeah, and I can tell you firsthand that type of technology is not far off. It is not far off. We have some really cool things here in the office that we can do with our waveguide optics, and getting them into a small form factor. It's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And it really is a holy grail to put it into a pair of glasses, because once you marriage fashion with utility of things you could do with a smartphone, it becomes a solution for everyone. And like I said, that technology is not far off, and we really hope to capture that market and be at the forefront when augmented reality glasses come out.
Well, Mike, it's interesting you mentioned the word the Holy Grail. I mean, what is the Holy Grail in augmented reality devices? Since you're writing them out, what is it? What's the pinnacle for you? You wanted to get it so it just looks like an ordinary pair of glasses with nothing. I mean, is that the Holy Grail, or is it some other factor element to these devices?
Well, yeah, absolutely. To start, it'll be a pair of glasses, and then from there, there's other solutions that that may follow on down the road. But once you can get things down to a fashion statement, where you could have a pair of glasses and be able to use it like a smartphone, the opportunities become immense of how you can utilize this, and everything's hands-free. You have information access. I don't want to say at your fingertips because you're not using your fingertips anymore, but it's directly in front of your eye. And like you said, augmented reality, you are superimposing images onto the real world. So you'd be able to do so many different things and be able to do things more efficient in your everyday life. And you could use it as much as you want or as little as you want, which is the cool thing. So you don't have information overload.
No, exactly.
Let's be honest here, though. You said Holy Grail, and we all know that the future is obviously things like Apple Watch, where everything's built to a watch. That was a joke, obviously, because Apple Watch has not taken off like a peripheral should. So,
why do you think that is? I mean, it's getting to the point where it's like an ordinary watch. I mean,
I'll just say that your statement and Vuzix statement of a fashion statement that crosses technology. That is where a lot of critics have come out against Apple, saying that it good that they're innovating, good that they're bringing out something new, but the moment that they brought out a smart watch, they started to compete in a different category. Because right now, Vuzix with the iWatch and everything like that, with the iWear video headphones and things like that, you're still competing with headphones, you're still competing with monitors. But the moment you get into something like sunglasses, as I'm sure you know, you're not just competing in technology anymore. You're competing in fashion. And that is a completely different category because, hey, people who like fashion didn't like the Apple Watch, and people who like technology, they didn't mind the fashion, but they weren't wild about the technology in it. So, Vuzix, I gotta say, if you're going for eyewear, be careful because that's, I know in the corporate space, fashion really doesn't matter much, but for the consumer space, fashion does matter.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I mean, if you could have a pair of Oakley sunglasses, but hey, besides that, you can actually see information on there. That's cool stuff. You're not only a fashion statement, but you also have technology. So you're blending the two.
Well, all right. So we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left, Mike. Let's talk about anything else. I mean,
we should probably throw out the price here eventually.
Well, yeah.
You want to pick one of these out?
Actually, that's it. What do you project the cost to be for this?
Well, eyewear right now is on the market, and that's $499. That's available right now at Vuzix.com and many other retailers that we are talking to. When our waveguide AR glasses come out, we haven't released a price on that yet, but it'll be in the smartphone range, and it'll probably be introduced into the enterprise space first, and then it'll trickle down to the consumer market.
Really? What kind of time frame you think we're looking at? Is it going to be time for the holidays, you think, or?
Well, eyewear definitely is, since it's available now. That product is available now and will be available for the holidays. The AR wave-guided sunglasses will probably it'll be a 2017 type product.
Okay. So you're thinking about 2017? We're really going to start seeing this take off?
It'll be, like I said, it'll be introduced into the enterprise space. We'll have applications written for it, and that's where a lot of things launch. And then it'll, like I said, it'll go into the consumer space from there. And it'll definitely take off next year.
All right. Well, again, Mike, Haylett, I want to thank you for being here with us on Computer America, telling our listeners about what Vuzix is and what you're doing in your products. You can go see them at their website at vuzix.com, or just head over to computeramerica.com, our website. It's right there on our homepage, and you can see all the information. And I assume they can get this directly from you, Vuzix, at this point. That's where they would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they can.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for being with us here, and best of luck to you. And keep us informed as new things become available to Vuzix. Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Mike, you have a good day. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, there he goes again.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, exactly. I mean, to see these types of products becoming either around the corner or just becoming available now, we are certainly on the cusp of seeing some amazing technologies available for us. So we've got another hour of computer and technology news that's coming up. We'll be, and some of the stories look really interesting here that we picked up, including Pandora is going to be bringing music to those who are in getting an Uber ride. That's an interesting one. Also, Twitch is introducing cheering emotes for tipping streamers. That's kind of cool. And also, the question about, is a Minecraft movie ever coming out?
The answer is yes.
I mean, if it was a Lego movie, come on.
I was going to say Angry Birds.
Or
I think that's more of a one-to-one because Legos has been around forever. I mean, Angry Birds, that's just a game.
Yeah. And also, get this. Did you know that half of the U.S. households, half of them, now subscribe to video-on-demand services like Netflix? These stories and more are coming up. Also, a brand spanking new News Tips Polls review from Marty Winston. That's coming up as well. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And again, we just had Vuzix on the program, talking about their augmented reality glasses and the visors. I mean, just really, really cool stuff.
I think I'm going to get me a pair.
You think so?
I think so.
All right. Well, very cool. Well, Ben's going to get a pair. It must be really good.
Well, and one thing that we made perfectly clear, and I really want to reiterate, is that this is not a replacement for, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. This would be more a replacement for a portable monitor, and something that you could take on the go, have adapters for your iPhone, for your Android phone, and be able to essentially watch on a huge TV anywhere you go. And I'm doing more and more traveling these days. I would absolutely love something like this where I could maybe pop on Netflix on my smartphone and be able to watch it in almost isolation as I'm driving down the road. So that would be the dream.
It would be, exactly, because you wouldn't have to take your eyes off the road.
Well, yeah, and right now, the closest thing I have to a portable monitor is a monitor by Games, GAEMS, and don't get me wrong, it's very, very portable. It's one power cord, and it is one, and it has plenty of HDMI inputs, and it has this very, very convenient handle, and it bills itself as portable. And that's great if, let's say, you're trying to play with someone else. But if you just wanted a screen to yourself, I can't think of many things more convenient than just a single monitor that slides down over your face.
I guess that would be kind of convenient. I was watching one of the videos, and it struck me as a little funny, a little unusual, because there's this girl. She's on a bus with obviously, that's like a school bus with some friends and everything. And then she reaches into her bag and she pulls out one of these Vuzix headsets. And it's a pretty big honking set, you know. And
Yeah, who needs friends when you have Vuzix? You can watch House of Cards, you know, anytime you want. Friends on the bus.
it was a little bit of a stretch, you know. I mean, you know, like she just has this available. And
Maybe that particular use case where where you are surrounded by friends, you know, don't be rude. But if you're a constant commuter who takes, let's say the train every day, then yeah, I can see something like this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got a lot of stories to do. It's Monday, and a lot of news stories have been building up, and I certainly want to get to them. So why don't we do some computer news, okay? Unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
Anything else to talk about? No, I think I am good to go. I hope everyone had a really good weekend, and of course, other than world events that don't affect technology, no, I think I'm good to go.
All right, well, let's do some computer and technology news. Today's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Check them out at slimwareutilities.com. You'll be very glad that you did, and you'll thank us for it. slimwareutilities.com.
Oh, right. And with that, we are going to kick off the news today with a company that has actually been on the show here with us.
Elio.
And yeah, exactly. We need to have them back on the show because they're getting closer and closer and closer to their final production date and when they're finally going to start pumping these things out. And as Craig so unceremoniously blurted out, the company is called Elio, E-L-I-O.
Mm-hmm.
And they make these tiny, tiny, tiny little cars that are, when we had them on the show, the best way I would describe it is really an enclosed motorcycle. It has a lot of like the engine is about the size of a motorcycle. It has a lot of similarities of a motorcycle, but they built kind of like a chassis where, even when you have a passenger, they're sitting behind you. Like they're not sitting next to you, they're sitting behind you, just like they would on a motorcycle. So, but instead of a motorcycle, they've enclosed it in a traditional, I would say about the size of a smart car, kind of enclosure.
Right.
So it's completely enclosed. It has air conditioning. It has the radio. It has seating for two. And the best thing about it is that it's very cheap.
Has a trunk.
It has a tiny trunk. When he was on, he said that you could fit a few groceries in it. But if you are going, bulk grocery shopping, better to leave the second person home because you would not fit a lot back there. But the best thing about it is, of course, $6,800, one of the cheapest cars you have ever heard of, and 84 miles to the gallon.
That's
so, which again kind of leads me to the whole motorcycle analogy because motorcycles also get very, very good gas mileage, as with the Elio. So, this article from BGR. All of the buzz around the cars of the future, from the millions of dollars investment sloshing around in the industry, can easily make it seem like everything is the next big thing. So here we have, everywhere you turn, you breathe in that sweet new car smell. All of it a great smashing of the old order. So here we have Paul Elio, and he reflects on what it takes to make it happen. So his company, Elio Motors, which, again, I fully expect to have on the show within the week if you're listening, Computer America lackeys. They make a three-wheeled vehicle, sort of like a motorcycle, that gets 84 miles to the gallon and starts at $6,800. It was a startup, and it raised millions of dollars in investment funding. And, of course, it also collected 55,000 reservations for his vehicle, from his vehicle, which Elio will crank out at a former General Motors facility in Louisiana. So, American built, and American built, American funded. Something to be said for that. Mm-hmm. So, he's taken several steps forward on its path towards realizing a dream the company's founder had been nurturing for almost a decade: to build a successful car company something that minus Tesla, Elio is quick to point out no one has done in the U.S. since Walter Chrysler in 1925. Even though I think Chrysler sold out to the Canadians not too long ago, during like the 2007, 2008 shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got sold to the Canadians. So, anywho, Elio Motors has been expanding its leadership, and with just added hires that include a manager of logistics, director of safety engineering, and an engineering program manager, the company is finally getting itself into gear. No pun intended. So, they have a lot of his background here, saying how he started out as a wet behind the ears Harvard graduate. No one gave him a chance in the world, and of course, he is a very capable man who has had plenty of chances, I'm sure. But his company today has 3 centers of gravity, as he says. The founder lives in Phoenix, while everyone else lives in Detroit and Motor City. And of course, the company has also a manufacturing site in Shreveport. So, they're saying that we're kind of stalled out before the fundraising, and they have the prototype ready. And as many of you know, 55,000 reservations, and they got that from 6.5% of the population. And when you scale that up, just on awareness alone, there's a lot to gain. So the article doesn't make it explicitly clear, but in 2017, that is their full-on production date. So if you registered for one, that's when it will be shipping out to you, late next year. And we will have, I'm sure we will have Paul Elio himself back on the show to talk about all of this as well. But just as a little update, because I know that quite a few of our listeners, ever since they first heard about him, they've been following news of Elio very, very closely. And it's exciting. That's, when we heard about him 3 or 4 years ago, he was just doing his Kickstarter. He was just getting his fundraising going.
He was on the show on the 8th of August in 2014.
Okay, 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Right, 2 years ago. But yeah, he was just getting his fundraising, and now he's less than a year away from getting production done. So, can't wait to have him back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, if you haven't heard of Elio, ELIO, if you haven't heard of them, go check them out. It's $6,800. What can go wrong?
No, it's a terrific little vehicle. It really is. They have videos. You can actually watch it. It's quite incredible. So Ben and I continue to do the computer and technology news, and this next story, actually, for those of you who are Surface fans, well, guess what? Microsoft has said that they will stop making the Surface 3 in December. Aww. Yeah. Evidently, the low-cost tablet is going to bow out after more than a year and a half on the store shelves. Again, it looks like the lower-cost Windows tablet is on its way out, eventually. Microsoft has confirmed to ZDNet that it will stop producing the Surface 3 by the end of December, or more than a year and a half after it hits store shelves. And as it stands, the company says that stock is limited. You might not get the model you want at your preferred store then, okay? The question is whether or not there will be a replacement around that time, assuming there is one in the works. Microsoft says there has been strong demand and satisfaction for the Surface 3, but it odd to wind down sales of a popular product after a year before production stops. And there's no doubt that the higher-end Surface Pro 4 and Surface Book are the stars of this hardware generation. So while the Surface 3 lowered the barrier to getting a Microsoft tablet with a pen support and full app ecosystem into the marketplace, its Atom chip and limited storage made it a tough sell. So now, they're not necessarily saying that the Surface line is going away for the non-pro Surface models. However, Microsoft may only want to jump back in when it can sync with a major new Windows release which
A new major Windows release.
yes,
So, even though Windows 10 was supposed to be the last of the last.
and that's where you have to read into that. What is it? They're calling it Redstone 2. And make a more compelling case for its lower cost tablets. So they're not saying, I mean, they've said Windows 10 is going to be the last OS they're going to make, but that doesn't mean they're going to different versions of Windows 10, because there always will be different versions. But maybe they're going to have a special version for their portable devices.
Right. And, after a quick Google search of Redstone 2, it appears to be what Microsoft is working on behind the scenes, that was due in next November, like 2017 November-ish timeframe. And it's not a new operating system. Like, it's not like, Redstone 2 is the key word for Windows 11, but it's, kind of like Service Pack 1 and 2 were for the, Windows 7 and Windows XP. It would be the next, kind of evolution of Windows 10.
Right.
So not a full-blown operating system, but something with better integration and new firmware and things like that would obviously lend itself to new hardware, especially if the Surface 3 is going away.
Yeah, and again, even in the story, they're calling it a major new Windows release, not a new OS. So I think
right. It's an improvement of the technology, I'm sure, in terms of firmware and it better communicating with more and more hardware. Because at the end of the day, I hate using that. When you talk about all these different tablets, Microsoft is going to use the cheapest part, the cheapest parts that make sense. So if they can use better parts and cheaper parts at the same time with better integration, you can bet they're going to discontinue the 3 because they're going to come out with something cheaper and better next year.
Really,
which only makes sense. So. How about something nonsensical? That sounds like fun.
By the way, we've got a comment here.
Do we do comments? I don't think we do comments. We don't like comments.
Well,
comments, go away.
Feedback. No. This is from Jonathan. This is night when we were talking about the Elio.
Yes.
He says the $6,800 is for the bare minimum features, including only a manual transmission. He says if you want an automatic, it's $1,500 more. And Tesla's the same way. I mean, you add more features, there are more costs, and that's true with any automobile.
Yeah, I guess as we talk directly to the public, we should be more open about that. In that, yes, bare minimum $6,800, and that's where you're gonna get the bare minimum. Like if you want, I'm sure, air conditioning, if you want an automatic transmission, if you want, I don't know. Seals around your doors. I don't know what they add for the extras, but $6,800 is for like, here's an engine, here is a chassis. That's all you get. That can obviously go up to $10,000 plus if you throw in all the bells and whistles. Some of those bells and whistles are of course mandatory for I think what a lot of people consider cars to be. But like Craig was saying, that's like all automobiles. Like when you see those car commercials, like the blah 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 blah, starting at $23,000. When they say starting at, you're probably not walking out of there for less than an extra $3,000 or $4,000 to get what you really need.
Yeah, that's typical. No one really walks away because there are just some things that you absolutely are going to.
It's like, oh wait, you wanted seatbelts? All right, so that's going to be another $1,500. Exactly. There are things that the base model just won't have that you yourself would consider that you need. So, but that's with everything. But yeah, Jonathan, good to point that out. Don't walk in there expecting $6,800 flatline, and you're going to be good to go. All right, so yeah, thank you for that, and we welcome. I was joking earlier, but yes, we welcome all sorts of feedbacks, comments, callers, emails, question submission, what have you. We like audience feedback. We thrive off it. So as I was saying, let's get into some nonsensical things. And I had heard rumor, but I had never actually took the time to look into it. But Burger King, they're around and they're doing stuff, and now they're doing stuff that could turn a couple people either very, very excited or very, very nauseous. I have not made up my mind yet.
Stephen Colbert commented about this the other night.
Really? I did not see that.
Yeah, he did.
So there is now Burger King's mac and Cheetos.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what America needs.
Right.
This, of course, coming from BGR, a great publication, Yanni Heisler. And yeah, folks, there's a bad taste in my mouth, but I promise it's not from this. It's just from the thought of it. I have not tasted it, so I cannot truly pass judgment. But yeah, so in case you've been living under a rock like myself or too busy eating kale, you may have missed the incredible new food innovation from Burger King. And earlier today, Burger King chains around the country began selling a new concoction known simply as Mac and Cheetos. It's not even and, it's N apostrophe. Mac and Cheetos.
Mhm.
So the new food item is exactly what it sounds like. Gooey pieces of mac and cheese nestled right inside the deep fried Cheeto.
God.
Okay. Yep, you no longer have to live in Wisconsin in order to enjoy what you can easily be categorized as heart attack on a bucket. Honestly, you should be put on some kind of list after you eat this. Some kind of, this person is in trouble. They hate themselves or something, but I want to try it. I really do.
Uh-huh.
I think I do. So
What if you like it? Or what's worse? What if you love it?
I like the KFC Double Down, and that was seen as the end of society. So I very may well enjoy this. So of course, earlier today, the author actually braved the sweltering 91-degree heat to go eat a mac and Cheetos. And it was like seeing a mirage akin to a weary, thirsty traveler seeing visions of water while trekking through the desert. So before he knew it, he saw a lady behind the counter grab a big bag of frozen Cheetos and dump a few into a deep fryer. And of course, immediately second thoughts began to creep in.
Mhm.
But he had them. He had some dipping sauce, honey, mustard, and not to get too far into this, I'm going to scroll down here for a picture in case any of you are truly concerned about just what is entailed in this. If you're watching, and folks, this is where the video portion comes in huge help. It comes in huge handy. Is that you can actually see here? It looks like a Cheeto, like an oversized, big puffy Cheeto.
Yeah.
But when you crack it open, it's mac and cheese inside.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's what you're getting. And they have the picture of what he actually got. And overall, he said that he'd have to give Burger King's latest cross motion creation a ranking of 13 out of 15 stars. The food was fresh and tasty, but not having an adequate dipping sauce detracted from the overall experience. So the author himself enjoyed it. The pictures look disturbing, like some dystopian, what have you. I think I want to try it.
Wow. Well, go for it.
Greg, what do you think? You are a fan of mac and cheese.
No, I'm not. Actually, I don't like mac and cheese at all.
I thought I knew you.
No, I like Cheetos, but not mac and cheese.
No, but you like cheese.
Yes, I love cheese.
And you love pasta of some kind.
Not really.
Why? How do you not like? I don't know. Okay, I'll go and try it one of these days, and I'll report back.
You'll report back, assuming that you're still alive.
If
yes.
I don't make it back, then that's also a report. So, co-host of Computer America tragically goes into an insulin shock and falls asleep behind the wheel and is done in by the mac and Cheetos from Burger King. I'll let you folks know.
Hopefully that won't happen. Okay.
Hopefully that won't happen.
So how many of you out there use Google Maps? Let me see. Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of you. Okay.
That would be everyone.
Yeah. So
especially the people who have used Apple Maps because Google
I
better.
I still use Apple Maps because it's integrated into.
I know you do, but you're also wrong. So
Hey.
Well,
according to this story, again from the Atlanta,
you can't teach class, is what I'm trying to say.
it says more than 1 billion people use Google Maps every month, making it possibly the most popular atlas ever created. And today, it's getting a makeover. Okay. And And many users will see something different when they examine the plants, forests, fields, seas, and cities.
All right. So if we're doing this, if we're doing, hand counting, then I also want to see a show of hands for how many people scoured the Egyptian deserts for another Great Pyramid that was yet undiscovered, or how many people scoured the ocean all around the world, thanks to Google, and looked for the lost city of Atlantis under the waves. Just me? All right, perfect. But no. Before we truly get into this story, that was how they found a new pyramid in Egypt. Was that Google took satellite photos, and it's honestly Google's project was really the first time that a lot of these places all around the world had satellite photos taken of them, and they found a new pyramid thanks to Google.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
It's not, again, it's not every day that someone goes and takes very detailed photos of the entire planet Earth. It's just kind of Google and Apple out there doing it.
Yeah.
And of course a couple others, but they're mostly focused on getting you from your home to Burger King to try their mac and cheese. But yeah, okay. All right. So just me. All right.
Well, basically, here's what the story goes on to say that what they're doing. They're adding 700 trillion. Let that number sink in. Pixels of new data to its service. The new map, which activates this week for all users of Google Maps and Google Earth, consists of orbital imagery that is newer, more detailed, and of higher contrast than the previous version. Most importantly, this new map contains fewer clouds than before. Only the second time Google has unveiled a cloudless map. Google has not updated its low and medium resolution satellite maps in 3 years. Okay. The improvements can be seen in the new map's depiction of Christmas Island. Almost 1,000 miles from Australia, the island was largely untouched by human settlements until the past 2 centuries. Its remoteness gives it a unique ecology, but given its location in the middle of the tropical Indian Ocean, it's frequently obscured by clouds. While the new map clear those away. It looks like a poodle or a dog. It looks a little bit like
Yeah, I got tail back here, leg down here, head up here. Yeah,
it looks a bit like a dog. It's a 99-acre immigration detention center operated on behalf of the Australian government, can now be clearly seen. It's the only tan splotch of development in the island's northwestern arm. In the old version of the map, the detention center was harder to distinguish from clouds. The island's eastern settlements are now also completely visible compared to the old version of the map, and they're actually showing you the old version as opposed to the new version. It's a lot cleaner.
We kind of take it for granted that, just wait for, just keep an eye on it, bookmark it, and be like, how about today? A couple clouds. I think we can wait for better. Like getting a cloudless picture of the entire planet Earth, that must be a huge undertaking.
It is 700 trillion pixels worth. Also, they're getting data from Landsat 8. That's a newer version of the same satellite, letting Google clear those ugly artifacts that you see in there, those like striped lines and everything, because they aren't really there. Now, Landsat 8 has been operational since the spring of 2013, and its inclusion helps the new map contain newer data and thus newer structures. In the new map's version of Tokyo, the D runway of the Haneda Airport can be seen in the bottom center of the frame. The standalone runway was built on reclaimed land in 2010. See, the older version of the same scene, you look at that, it seems more translucent. The map overall is also blurrier, less saturated, and more generically gray.
Yeah, looking at the before and after photos of just a couple of years, what 2 years makes, the newer one looks like you can almost pick apart, individual buildings of this entire mess of a city, whereas the old one is just kind of, is that the surface of the moon, or what is up with that? Crazy detail.
Yeah, it is. It's quite a long article, but it's primarily comprised of before and afters images, and Ben's showing you some of them right now. And you can see the before and then the new version.
Like the befores, they were, you know, they were decent. Of course, I think anyone who has used Google would know what a before looked like. But the afters, now that they have finally released them, it's just much more crisp. Really, it's like going from standard definition to high definition.
Yeah, good analogy. Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah, and taking out a lot of the artifacts that were in there. They're gone. So basically, in summation, they're saying Google Earth's engine is what is ultimately the focus here. The Earth-based cloud computation is expected to be more and more important for financial trading and corporate investment. Improving Earth engine is part of why Google purchased Terabella, a satellite company, 2 years ago. And so basically, you're going to start seeing all these improvements and with your Google Maps application.
But let's be honest here. What does anyone care about? Everyone Googles their home address, and they go there and see if they can see. Did the satellite take a picture of me walking my dog? Yes, no. That might be me. No. Okay, no, it isn't. Yeah, you know, that's just how people think. But this one photo of the glaciers, you know, that they took from, I believe, the Columbia Glacier in Alaska. This is a really nice photo. I mean, the befores were really good, but it had those artifacts, those horizontal crisscrossing lines. But the after is stunning.
It is. It's beautiful. It's amazing. All right, we got lots more coming up here. Ben and I are doing computer technology news brought to you by Slimmer Utilities. We are going to continue with some interesting stories. We're going to take a break. We're also going to have a brand spanking new News Tips Bulls review from Marty Winston. That's all coming up. You're listening to the Computer America Show. I promise, Ben and I will be right back. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Yeah, he sweated so much he made his own wading pond. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, exploring Raspberry Pi. Wiley sent their amazingly comprehensive 700-page Exploring Raspberry Pi, Interfacing to the Real World with Embedded Linux by Malloy. We find it kind of ironic that the book takes as much space as 16 of those small controllers. But having seen the scope of information that's online, We like that its explanations cover hardware, connections, the OS, applications, and a surprising spectrum of related topics. No, it doesn't answer absolutely everything, but then nothing does. Bottom line, exploring Raspberry Pi is a more than helpful first stop for information and guidance whenever a Raspberry Pi challenge appears. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is just past a half hour as we are here doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimmer Utilities. And we are just going on about our merry little way, talking about relevant, sometimes relevant, sometimes irrelevant, tech-oriented stories throughout the day. And, a lot of good ones, but one of them that I want to bring up is something that I think a lot of people have been miffed at because, we've talked about it here on the show. In fact, it actually happened to a family member, so, why not talk about it now? About someone who took it to court and actually won. And so you say, Ben, what are you talking about? Well, this is from Extreme Tech, website I normally don't frequent, so can't exactly say to the quality of their usual writing, but Mr. Joel Hruska has written an article about a woman who sued Microsoft and won a $10,000 judgment against Microsoft for a forced Windows 10 upgrade.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Forced Windows 10 upgrade. You know that thing that we always warn you about, that, hey, Windows 10 might secretly and surreptitiously install itself on your Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 computers, and when you wake up one day, it'll be hard to go back. Mm-hmm. Well, she took it to court, and she was awarded $10,000. Now, actually, I don't even want to say the word awarded, because I think Microsoft, kind of did this outside the court, and she dropped. But yeah. So again, Extreme Tech. And so for months, they've actually cataloged continued users' resistance to Microsoft Windows 10 upgrade policies, and the company's increasing attempts to shove users to adopt the OS, and its occasional backtrack when its own policies went too far. It seems that at least one customer took the fight to court and won a small judgment against the company for how it deployed its latest operating system. So this was by a woman, Terry Goldstein, of Sausalito, California, who sued Microsoft after a failed Windows 10 upgrade left her system performing poorly, prone to crashing, and reportedly unusable for multiple days. So given the general issue associated with performing in-place upgrades, even successful ones, it's not surprising that some users would run into problems. Goldstein reached out to Microsoft and customer service to attempt to resolve her issues, but filed suit against the company once it failed to resolve her problems. Her $10,000 figure reflected estimated lost compensation, as well as the cost of her new system. That must be one killer system. Either that or her time is super valuable. $10,000. So, of course, one $10,000 judgment isn't going to make much of a blip in Microsoft's bottom line, and of course its overall Windows 10 trajectory, but it neatly caps a year of self-inflicted damage regarding Windows 10 and Microsoft free upgrade. And this is something that we've talked on the show about before, was that Microsoft is using up a lot of their goodwill that they had built up at the beginning of Windows 10. They're using a lot of it up because there's a lot of things that people don't like about the new operating system. The goodwill when Windows 10 was first announced was that it's a free upgrade path. It runs very, very well. It's the true spiritual successor, so Windows 7, and it just works. But then they had a lot of missteps, and the missteps include the forced telemetry that Windows users weren't used to, and honestly, I think are very much against the fact that you send off every time you start up a program, every time you log into the computer from somewhere, everything that you do on the computer is sent over to Microsoft so that they can analyze the data and, as their words put it, better improve the user experience because they know exactly what you're doing and what could be done better. They also used it up when they had the forced upgrades. so that, not only did they get rid of the patch notes, so that they told you what every Windows update held, even if it was just bug fixes, Microsoft did away with patch notes so that you now have to upgrade even though you don't know what you're technically upgrading to.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things not to like, and that is before you even bring up the Universal Windows program and gaming, where they're trying to get people to use the Microsoft Marketplace, which I will say up to this point, I have never even opened, let alone used.
Now,
So-
for those of you who are watching, Ben is displaying the website. There's a picture there that you have to see that it's hysterical. Look at the little picture of of a cat that's in there, and he's looking. And you read the caption under this. He says,
Yeah, it'll be fun, they said. Yeah.
"In the tub," they said. "It'll be fun," they said.
Yeah, and the cat is supposed to represent how people
Right.
feel about after upgrading to Windows 10, because again, it was free. It was supposed to be very, very convenient. And then they threw out all these gotchas, which were, again, the Unified Windows program, the gaming, the privacy policy, the upgrade policy, the update policy, a lot of stuff that people is not settling well with them.
Yep.
So, again, this $10,000 judgment that this lady won, probably going to be a one-off. I doubt there's going to be any kind of class action lawsuit, because these people technically were pretty well informed about just what Windows 10 was, and it's but like the author said, it was a nice little cap to the year to the post-year release of Windows 10, in that someone just won 10 grand for what was supposed to be one of the smoothest transitions to a new operating system.
Yeah. Look, they tried hard. You can't fault Microsoft. They really, really tried to do it, and it was a humongous task. And
Well, yeah,
more didn't go wrong. Quite frankly,
it's a humongous task, because Windows operating system works on a lot of different computers. I mean, almost every single hardware device, every motherboard, every hard drive, every piece of RAM, every processor, all of these things are made to work with Windows 10, but they're all made using their company's own software. So it's one thing to kind of say, okay, design it for Windows, but to get it to work with not only with Windows, but with every other piece of hardware from every other company and Windows at the same time, that's definitely not easy. So this lady had enough of it. She won her court case. Good for her. But I think the bigger story here is, of course, Windows 10 not going over too well with the customer base, when it was supposed to be, the next big thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now this next story from Tech Hive. A lot of you are familiar with Periscope. These are owned by Twitter and Facebook Live, which allows you to do live streaming from your mobile device. Well, YouTube is jumping on the bandwagon. YouTube is evidently bringing live broadcasting for all.
Well, YouTube was one of the first. They obviously it was Justin TV and Twitch and Plays TV, but YouTube jumped on board about a year ago, but now they're bringing it everywhere, which is the big news.
Yeah, exactly. So YouTube will throw open the gates to live broadcasting inside its mobile apps. The mobile live streaming feature will be baked into the iPhone and Android apps, putting it in direct competition with the Twitter-owned based Periscope and Facebook Live. The announcement on the YouTube creator blog didn't mention a specific launch date. However, the details show a service that is similar to other live platforms, with the ability to allow live chat, make the stream public, and notify subscribers. Google also proclaimed it would have an inherent superiority with its take on live streaming, thanks to its long-standing ability to host most of the world's online videos, which is YouTube. The live broadcast feature is coming first to YouTube's more popular creators before it's made available to all, presumably to work out any issues before the masses can partake. And there's a little commentary here that live video has become very popular, most dramatically this week, when the U.S. House Democrats used Periscope to live broadcast their sit-in to call for a vote on gun safety legislation. With this capability entering the mainstream, YouTube certainly doesn't want to be left out while rivals Facebook and Periscope take up all the attention. That's right. Yeah, I mean, live video streaming really is becoming the next big thing that you can do with your smartphone. So,
yeah, I mean, live streaming, the next big thing. I think it's been a pretty big thing for quite a while now, but I can't help but feel like, yes, it's the next iteration because everyone did Snapchat and they were like, oh yeah, Snapchat, show everyone what food I'm eating. It's wonderful, and what my cat's doing. It's lovely. So of course you go from still pictures to Vine, which was 6-second little videos of what you were doing, and tell little stories. And of course the next iteration from picture to movie is live video. So I have no doubt that this is the next iteration. I'm just wondering how, other than a few particular influencers who have, audiences in the millions, I don't know how popular it's actually going to be for the everyday user. Sure, you may talk to someone and, you may live stream and maybe, 1 or 2 people that can watch it, but I don't know what the demand is for realsies.
well, I guess it all depends on how important the story is.
I guess. So let us move on. Oh, phone. Who knew that does that? So, sorry about that, folks. But let us move on from live streaming to another story. Let's talk about a $4 smartphone. Yes, you heard that right. Not $4 smartphones, but one $4 smartphone.
Wow.
Pretty good stuff. And hey, Craig, it's your phone. Is that ever going to stop?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know why it's. I thought I forwarded all the calls, so I'm not sure. Oh, maybe that's the fax. Someone's trying to send the fax, and I didn't forward that because we don't accept faxes.
All right then. So,
Okay.
All right, folks. I don't know how. Oh wait, never mind. It just stopped. All right. So, India's $4 smartphone arrives June 30th, and India is doing a lot of really impressive things with technology lately. It's kind of cool to see them rise to power where China is becoming less and less dominant, and it's leaving room for India to come up and have a very, very strong tech market. I mean, Craig, how many folks of Indian origin, that we've actually interviewed from India, have we had on the show this year? A lot compared to what we have in the past, in the past years.
Mm-hmm.
So, even here on the show, we're really noticing a boom in the Indian tech market. And, like I said, one of the latest innovations is, of course, the $4 smartphone. I think that's cheap enough, folks. We can stop it. So, and there's a picture of it, and there's a picture of a couple of gentlemen wielding the phones as if they were bricks of soap. But, we wouldn't blame you for thinking that a $4 Indian smartphone was just a pipe dream, but it's apparently quite real. Ringing Bells, which is the company, tells the Indian Express that its ultra low-cost Freedom 251, of course, named based on its price in rupees, so 251 rupees, will start shipping on June 30th with nearly 200,000 units in the early batch. So, as before, the hardware is no great shakes. You're looking at a 4-inch 960 by 540 screen, a modest 1.3 gigahertz quad-core processor, which isn't, obviously quite a number of generations back, but, not bad. 1 gig of memory and 8 gigs of expandable storage. So, of course, obviously room for a micro SD or an SD slot. An 8 megapixel rear camera. Wow, that rear camera might actually be better than Apple's. 8 megapixel, although of course megapixels aren't everything, but and a 3.2 megapixel front camera, and it's even running Android 5.1 instead of 6.0. So of course the price is the big selling point here because those hardware. If you know anything about phone hardware, that sounds like a really, really awesome phone from 2010. So quite a number of years behind. But while it's good, while it's good that there's a tangible product, there are still doubts swirling about its feasibility. Ringing Bell CEO admits that his company is taking a loss on every phone right now. He's hoping to make up for that through sheer volume. Of course, as it stands, the firm is still reluctant to offer hands-on time to the media despite a release just days away. So, of course, if the gamble pays off, you could change the local phone market. Even the most affordable smartphones on the market right now still represent a huge expense for some Indians, particularly rural dwellers who rarely enjoy middle-class incomes. So, $4 is inexpensive enough that it'd be far more attainable and help close a technological divide. And the main mystery is whether or not the phone is any good. A terrible experience might sour people on the whole concept, no matter how tempting the price is.
$4, $4, $4, $4.
$4, but those are some troubling signs that they won't even let the press get their hands on a review copy.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, those specs that they rambled off there, 1.3 gigahertz processor with 1 gig of memory and 8 gigs of storage, that might be good enough for general application, but definitely not good enough for most video games. And really, I don't see much application outside of like I said, social media, Facebook kind of type apps, and talking on the phone, and of course just kind of general note taking and picture taking, what have you. But if they can hit that $4 mark, and of course the company said it's taking a loss, so that price might even go up. But if they can hit that $4 mark, India has 1.1 billion people, and I'm sure there's hundreds of millions of people who don't have a smartphone. They have the market with the potential volume to move that many phones. It's just I was actually one of them where I didn't want a smartphone for the longest time. I was happy with my dumb phone.
Yeah.
But once I got a smartphone, I have a hard time thinking about a time when I didn't use one.
Okay.
So
I remember that time so clearly. I mean, I was just amazed that you were happy with a standard flip phone. I don't want a smartphone.
yeah, but now I use a smartphone, and now I use it for every stupid little thing. And obviously, I can feel myself getting dumber, but I love every minute of it. So, there's something to be said for that. But this could be India's, kind of intro phone. And if they can get, even 200 million people, if they can get less than a quarter of their population to start to use smartphones and potentially start upgrading phones, this could be a huge boon to phone makers across the world, because that is a huge number of people who are going to own smartphones for the first time.
This is very true. This is very true.
If it's any good, because again, $4, and they won't even let people try it out. It's not like they cost $10,000 a piece, and you can't exactly send one to every press press junket that wants to use one. No, they're $4, and they still won't let people use it. I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Let's hope it's somewhat decent.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Hey, remember those little Amazon dash buttons that we're talking about?
How could I forget?
Those are so cool. Well, evidently, I went on to Amazon just today, and they are just announced that they're announcing dozens of these buttons that are new. They're coming this week. This is again this cute little button that you mount on your washing machine or on your coffee maker or your someplace practical, and it has, let's say, the Maxwell House logo or the Tide logo on it. All you have to do is you push the button.
They are intrinsically tied to whichever product that you order from. So,
Right.
Let's say if it's a washing machine and you use Tide detergent, you would have a Tide dash button, and it would automatically order these things after you press it.
Right, you just push the button and it orders it. You don't have to do anything. It's done. You set it up one time, and it's amazing. You can use your smartphone to cancel it if you do it. You hit the button accidentally, but it's so successful that Amazon is announcing dozens of new dash buttons this week. Okay, I saw the article doesn't talk about them specifically, but when I went on to Amazon, I saw things like a Starbucks button. I saw a lot of them, Gillette, Doritos, common items that you would, and so to order these things, they're going to be a lot of them. Now, this is kind of interesting because basically they cost like about $5. Okay, but when you get one, you get a $5 rebate for your first purchase. So basically,
They're essentially free.
It's free. Yeah, exactly. And
But-
it's in the manufacturer's best interest because it's just another way for people to order stuff. Why not give them a free?
Well, there's the thing. It's not only in the manufacturer's best interest, but it's obviously in Amazon's best interest because they make money off of being a vendor for commonly used items. So like every time you order, Tide through Amazon, obviously Amazon gets paid to ship that Tide out to you instead of you getting in your car, going down to the grocery store, whatever you go to, and picking up Tide yourself. So it's good for Amazon. It's good for the producer because, hey, and now every time someone looks at their coffee maker, they see Maxwell House staring right back at them. So who do you think they're going to use? Maxwell House.
Exactly.
But I got to say, as a consumer and a consumer advocate, there's something to be said for not, associating a particular brand name with a particular product.
Why?
Why? Because there are times when certain products get a very dominant share of the market and they abuse it to a certain extent where they let the quality of their product go because they send out so much that they can make even more money. Let's say if you send out 100 million products a year, if you cut, if you use this instead of that and you save yourself 3 cents, then obviously not in the best interest of the consumer or even for the marketplace, but because you have such a domination of the market, no one's going to change. It's just better to, in my mind, competition is better. And when you introduce things like this, you're removing competition because these people never again have to go and look at, what other laundry detergents are there? What other coffee, creamers are there? You just say, push a button, don't think about it, order us. And that's taking competition out of it.
Yeah, but Amazon, and on top of that, Amazon is not necessarily encouraging people to get them. But even though they're making a huge profit, Amazon gets $15 for every button that's sold. And on top of that, Amazon takes 15% cut of every Dash sale and still charges its typical commission, anywhere from 8 to 15% for those sales. But Amazon is, according to the story, is doing its best to make the Dash button obsolete with the ability to purchase items on the fly with Alexa. That's the
Alexa would be a replacement for all these Dash buttons.
Yes, it would. Nevertheless, it will be some time before every PC, smartphone, speaker, or washing machine lets you order from Amazon with little or no effort. Until then, Amazon wants its Dash buttons to fill the void of ultra-simple ordering for everyday household items. Now, if only Amazon could get users to actually use the darn things, but it does look really simple. I mean, you push the button and it's on your door the next day or so. 2 days. There in 2 days.
Just as a mindful consumer, I think it's very important that people should always be on the lookout for new products, different products, things that may be better, that maybe you haven't heard of as much. Just the moment that you stop associating, I really don't want to say any brand for any kind of particular, window cleaner, you have company A. If you have detergent, company B. If you have this, company C. Like the minute that you just associate one job with one business or one company, that's when you start taking competition out of the marketplace. Shop around. It could be fun.
Maybe they'll have dialable versions of Dash, so you can pick different brands of the same.
Well, like they said, Dash is an in-between, is kind of a go-between until they get Alexa to be more conversational.
Right.
As soon as you can say in any room, because you have the Amazon dots all over your house, as soon as you can say, oh man, I'm out of detergent, and then Alexa would pop up and say, hey, Ben, would you like me to order some? I'll say, oh, yeah, sure. Get the cheapest. And, bing, bang, boom, off you go. As soon as they can get that level of conversation, then what is the point of a dash button?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that about wraps up the show. We're pretty much out of time here. I do want to thank our guest from the first hour, Mike Hallett from Vuzix on the show. And again, if you missed it, you can go to computeramerica.com and download the archive. We make them available at just hit the archive button at our website, computeramerica.com, and you get it. And you can download and listen to it for yourself. Very interesting interview, and it'll be up there when we go off the air today. The archive will become available.
90 seconds.
Coming up tomorrow, it is we're going to have in the first hour Bob Dr. Mac Levitas. He hasn't been with us. He's one of our correspondents, columnist for the Houston Chronicle, and this guy knows everything about Macs and more. And I know it's a couple of weeks, but we're just not available. But he's going to be talking about the Worldwide Developer Conference from about 3 weeks ago. Talk about some of the products and some of the anticipated products, and just basically.
And that was the end of Mac as we know it.
And the state of Apple as we know it today. And also coming up in the second hour of that, we'll have more computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. Hey, thank you all for being here with us. And we got the rest of the week. Got some great shows coming up. And Ben and I will see you here, same place, same time, same station. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye. Woohoo! That too. Oh, yeah.
10 seconds.
Here we go.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thank you for watching our live
I
video.
feel like you don't like your outro music because you keep talking over it.
No, I just like making little comments. Everybody, thank you for watching, and Ben and I will see you here on our live video stream, and have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.